I'm a new pool owner and it gets overwhelming fast. Salt water, chlorine. My neighbor has a saltwater stabilizing system and won't stop talking about it. So I figured I would bring Mark from Doheny's in to help me figure out which one's better and how I can make the right choice for myself. So Mark, shoot me straight. Is there a difference between salt and chlorine in terms of sanitization?
Absolutely. Basically what you're looking at here is what I would refer to as a chlorine generator.
Okay, so I can't just, there's a bunch of people swimming, just pour a bunch of Morton salt in there and just call it a day?
No, that's not how it works. I mean, essentially what we're doing is we're starting with a base of salt.
Okay.
So if you bought one of these units and took it home and installed it, you're going to have to start with a pre-measured amount of salt. And depending on how many gallons of water you have in your pool, it's a significant amount, especially for an in-ground pool. It could be anywhere from 600 to 1,000 pounds of water softening salt. So you'll trek over to the Home Depot, you're going to buy tons of bags of salt, and you're literally going to come home, open them all up at once and throw them into the water and they'll dissolve. What we do is we have a system where we're using basically electricity or electrolytic conversion, where we're taking, this is plumbed in line, so water is coming into this salt cell.
Yeah.
So you have, let's say, untreated water, and we're bringing it through, and inside this cell we have a platinum bar that we use electricity to combine with, that takes the actual sodium or salt and converts it into sodium hypochlorite. So it's sodium from the salt, chlorite for the chlorine. Okay. And so we're creating sodium hypochlorite, it's going back into the pool, and that's how you are basically generating your own chlorine levels. The one thing to know about sodium hypochlorite is that it's a non-stabilized form of chlorine. It's attacked very easily by the sun. Another terminology that I would use for sodium hypochlorite is if you look at the directions on a bottle of bleach, like Clorox, or the stuff that we sell in bottles, liquid chlorine, it says 10% or 12% sodium hypochlorite.
Okay.
It's very inexpensive because it's only 10 or 12% chlorine to begin with.
Yeah.
And it's unstabilized, so it doesn't have any conditioner in it, like to say 3-inch tabs.
Okay.
3-inch tabs are pre-stabilized for that purpose.
Got it.
So they last a lot longer. So that's part of the reason why these machines are built the way they are, is they're constantly putting chlorine into the water because we're not starting with a lot to begin with. So we have to keep a flow of chlorine going into the water pretty constantly.
Got it. And then the box, do these two things work together?
Yeah, this one is giving this the commands.
Okay.
So that's your command box, if you will, your control box, and it's basically consists of 3 things. It has a timer. So it tells you, you can allow the program it when you want it to work. It's got essentially a volume knob, if you will, that will allow you to control the amount of chlorine you're producing to put into the water.
Yeah.
And then it has a boost button, basically allows you to kind of super chlorinate the water, basically putting this into overdrive for a period of time to dump a bunch of chlorine into the water.
If I'm trying to understand the difference between chlorine sanitization versus salt sanitization, is there a difference in terms of environmental or green issues? Like, is one better than the other?
No, not necessarily. And I would say, this way is that, the concept is very easy to kind of say that it's more green because it's salt.
My neighbor with salt is always just like, oh, it's just so much better for the, it's greener.
Which it's not true.
Okay.
I mean, it's just simply not true because we're starting with salt, we're creating chlorine.
Okay.
So whether this is creating chlorine or I'm putting a 3-inch tab into my water, it's the exact same thing.
And so in terms of this, what are some cons that you can be approached with something like this?
Well, to me, the biggest con is, what we're putting into the water.
Yeah.
Right? Because sodium hypochlorite, by its name, is salt. And as us Midwesterners know, salt is not good on metal things. Like, I would warn everybody, if you have a swimming pool heater, be very careful with this thing, because now you're not only putting chlorine through a heater, now you're putting salt through a heater. And remember, a heater's heat exchanger, what makes the heat, is typically made out of copper, which is soft.
Okay.
And so, we know what salt does to metal cars.
Yeah.
So another thing that you have to be aware of is your rails going into the water. Stainless steel rails.
Like salty and
they can start eroding.
Metal.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And a lot of people invest in really nice decking that goes around pools.
Yeah, I want to keep that looking good.
Yeah, and I tell everybody, I know it sounds crazy, but If it was my pool, I would hose off that deck after heavy use because all that water coming out, leaving salt to sit on that concrete, and it eats away at the concrete, or can eat away at the concrete. No matter what anybody tells you, there is no easy way, and we should know that from life, right? There's no easy way to anything, and especially with a pool. Just because you have this doesn't mean you stop testing, stop adjusting your pH, et cetera, et cetera. You still have to do all those things.
So despite the fact that there's no easy way to deal with all of this, you've made my understanding of this a lot easier. Thank you so much, Mark.
You're welcome.
I know, it's a lot. It can be overwhelming to try to balance all the information and make all these different decisions. That's what's great about a place like Doheny, and if you visit them at doheny.com, you're going to be able to get that information to help you make the right decision at the right time. Make sure you like and subscribe so that we can help you find the right answers to the right problem.